What's retirement look like for Sue Bird?
Relaxing hobbies.
There's one.
Staying active. Oh no! It's a lot, so I need my savings to last.
Okay, let's plan.
Symetra Life Insurance Company, your teammate for whatever lies ahead.
Great to have Symetra with us today, talking about longevity. Their article in the May-June edition of Aspire talks about how to bring wellness into the conversation with clients. So important. 4 million Americans turning 65 every year now, over 11,000 a day. Still concerned about dying too young, but even more concerned about living their best life in retirement. So to help us go off the page and talk further about this subject today, we have Jenny Hohman. She's the AVP of Life Marketing at Symetra. Welcome to you, Jenny.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
We're glad to have you. And also registered dietitian and health and wellness advisor, Matt Kansy. Welcome to you, Matt.
Yeah, thank you, Chuck. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, well, let's dig in, and I'll start with you, Matt. How do you recommend bringing financial wellness into the conversation with clients?
Yeah, well, so, the reason, if I just can take a step back on that, that I got into this industry with my message was that up to a certain point, and even to this day, basically the financial approach to retirement is more of a defensive approach rather than an offensive approach. And the conversations were always about making sure that you have enough to afford healthcare in retirement. And so I think that it's really important to look at the opportunity for people to optimize or maximize their financial strength by taking better care of themselves, rather than just kind of living the typical life that most Americans do, and then just kind of seeing where the cards lie and having a lot of money being spent on potentially avoidable expenses in retirement.
Yeah, it's such an important subject. And Jenny, I want to shift to you now, talking about it from a carrier perspective. Your company has living benefit riders. They're available across the industry. I think it's such an important tool for advisors. How do you recommend evaluating those with both clients and advisors when talking about their retirement?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think there's lots of different steps. And the first step is just really understanding what each type covers. So with chronic illness, critical illness, and long-term care riders, they all sound really similar, but they actually function very different in terms of condition, limitations, and how the benefits are paid out. And so I think that's really important. And then it's important to look at the structure. And is the benefit built into the policy, or is it an optional rider? And then those usually come at additional cost. And then it's important to consider what qualifying event even allows access to the benefit, and whether there's a waiting period. And just as importantly, it's important to restrictions and how those funds can be used. And then another key consideration is the impact on the policy itself. So if benefits are used, then what happens to the death benefit or the cash value? And in our industry, a lot of clients are focused on accumulation, and then it's just important to make sure that trade-off is understood upfront. But ultimately, it just comes down to helping clients understand the product and its riders, and then addressing their concerns. When you think about, clients, sometimes they've experienced a parent who maybe needed long-term care, or maybe they know someone who went through a serious illness, and those risks are very real, and living benefits provide meaningful reassurance. Lastly, I just like to think of it as an umbrella, and most people associate umbrellas with rain. But they could be just as useful for protection on a sunny day. And so living benefits kind of work the same way. They add flexibility and protection to the policy and allow clients to address needs.
That's a great analogy, the umbrella. And so important to really understand those products and features. And the good news is that companies like yours, and then all of the BGAs and IMOs in the marketplace, they're there to help the advisor really evaluate each type of living benefit rider and product. So not to worry, there's plenty of resources to help you make those conversations go well and land in the right place. So kind of to bring this all home, Jenny, I was going to ask you, what's one question that advisors should be asking their clients that likely they're not currently asking the question? What's that one question?
So I think for me, one question I don't think that gets asked enough is, what's your plan if your health changes? And I think that's important, not just financially, but practically. You ask the question, who is going to take care of you? Where is that care going to happen? And then how is it going to impact those people around you? Because the reality is health changes, they don't just affect one person, they ripple through entire families. And when there's no plan in place, those moments become really chaotic really quickly. I know I've seen this firsthand in my own family. My father-in-law, it happened with my father-in-law. He was recently retired at the time, really active, very healthy. And then almost overnight, everything changed. And what our family thought was going to be a short-term issue turned into a terminal diagnosis. And suddenly we were processing, the emotional weight of that. And then also we're trying to make urgent decisions about care and costs and then what the future is going to hold. And there's no clear timeline. And I know I'm a planner. And so that obviously was one of the hardest parts. So I think that's just really important for people because people don't plan for uncertainty. And, you have to ask yourselves, how long was care going to be needed and what's it going to cost? And then what's it going to mean for the family and their finances when you leave those behind? And so those are really difficult conversations, but they're necessary. And so I think, having a plan in place, it's not going to remove that hardship, but it is going to help with that chaos. So I think for financial professionals, just broadening your conversation and talking not just about wealth accumulation, but preparing your clients for the reality that health and financial risks are connected and that aging is a part of life. And so planning for that is just really important. And if you are able to integrate wellness into the conversation, then you can help your clients recognize that they can plan for both their health and their financial risks and whatever lies ahead.
Thank you, Jenny. That personal story really hits home and just really emphasizes the importance of this conversation, that you need to bring wellness into the client relationship. Living your best life is so important. That's what we all look forward to. And so, really having advisors think about that being part of their role is really critical. So you both did a great job with that. Matt, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
And Jenny, thanks to you and Symetra for making this possible. Great to talk with you today.
Thank you.
You can find Jenny and Matt's article on page 24 of the May-June edition of Aspire magazine. Link in the description.